stuff, going over old agendas or just
Yeah.
strictly?
It's gonna be,
So it's a regular meeting.
hey.
Basically.
And, while you guys are waiting, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the, well, Tim, you don't need to, but the meeting minutes. Good job. Did you want to look at them?
I looked at
You're
them.
Okay.
It's fine, man.
So how do I?
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You ready? Let's see the ankle. It's going.
On the first side.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, the other one is just fine. That was the one that was done 2 years ago.
She did. Is it next
Yeah,
week?
just come in. Yeah, I saw them leaving.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Yeah. And Casella came through.
So this is recording. Do we want a recording now? We don't really need it.
For it.
Airplane.
So if anybody comes, it's, you know. All right, now you can.
Okay.
adjourn now.
So it is 2:02. This is the Recycling and Solid Waste Committee and the Town Administrator, Merrill Mandel speaking, Chair. And I am calling this meeting to order and noting that we have ended the acceptance of bids or our proposals for the recycling and solid waste RFP. So that is closed right now. We have 2 submissions, one from USA Waste and Recycling and one from Casella Waste. So neither of them are here. So what I'm going to do is call to a close the portion of our meeting where we're accepting proposals. That is done. So with that said, I will open our Recycling and Solid Waste Committee meeting. And I note that we have a quorum present. And what I would like to do now is, well, I'm gonna just do a regular meeting according to the agenda. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just ask for the meeting minutes to be approved from our 1/6 meeting, 22. Did everyone get a chance to look at them?
Yep.
Any further comments from the ones that I submitted and Gail submitted?
I move approval as edited.
Which date? You said 1/6?
1/6. So any, and all approved?
All approved.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, meeting minutes are accepted. That's all set.
To make sure everybody is, since I don't know why it's not.
There's,
We're
There's
supposed
something
to,
wrong here. I have in these minutes that the 1/6/22 meetings were approved on 3/3.
didn't we have another meeting?
Yeah,
It's
we
a
had
three. Oh, maybe I grabbed
I
it.
think it was the 3.
no,
Yeah,
It's the
March.
3/3.
I think it was the early March one.
Yeah,
well, see, I
March-
just
March
got,
3rd.
I'm gonna try one more thing, because I got, are you good at this? Steve?
So we're gonna be able to see.
It's these,
But
but I need those to take minutes because I write them.
Oh, it's the 3/3 meeting. I'm sorry, because what I was looking at is the minutes
See,
from
it's
the
supposed to
1/6
be
meeting were
whatever's on
approved.
here.
So that's what I was reading.
Yeah.
This is the 3/3 meeting minutes. This is
Yes,
what we
and I
took. I'm
reviewed
sorry.
those and I.
With the changes.
I moved.
I apologize for that confusion. It's all on my part. Yeah.
Aye.
So
Say what?
it's the 3/3 meeting minutes with changes, and I will get those to the town clerk for posting.
Yeah, and this is here,
Okay.
and that's,
I am going to defer the old business for now, and get right to
Display
status of the
where?
solid waste
Where?
RFP. And I say that we, just go right into that, because that's the key item today, but we can go with the other. So,
Little beer.
I am going to open these, and I will tell you all at this point, we're just gonna look at the technical proposals. The first thing we're gonna look at is to make sure that they contain some of the key items. Only if I can get them open.
It's not.
And this is the price proposal for Casella. My guess is
Oh,
there's
this
2
is
envelopes
showing.
inside
Is
there.
that without dollar figures?
So the technical proposal has no pricing
All right, so
information.
that-
That's how we ask them to be submitted.
How did that go?
So we're evaluating them on their technical merits first. We will rank them, and then we will open the price proposals. And given that we have two, I'm confident that all of you wise folks can.
No,
Okay.
I've been
Do it.
watching here.
Nine copies. Ew, the slick.
That's the price proposal.
Okay, so I am going to pass one of these out to everyone.
Thank you.
30 or 40 seconds to read this.
Ah,
Okay, and then,
so
here
That's
is
the
all right,
technical.
so-
USA Waste.
So I got that part.
That is a slim one, but we just want the information.
Still, I'm.
This is much more than screen is extended instead of duplicate. That's what I would.
Well,
look for.
we asked for, really.
Okay.
So,
See if you can just swipe this over to that.
okay. So just going back to the RFP, I'm going to direct you to,
There it is.
Well, okay. There's that.
yay.
All right,
So,
okay, so
so no one's in, no one zoomed
Is
in?
Ron,
no one, I haven't seen anyone.
Okay,
Now the owl,
Okay,
okay,
so-
why isn't the owl?
so it's gonna have the technical proposal submission forms, the liability insurance stuff. So let's, do you guys feel like you can go through it on your own for a minute and then just ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But it's not coming through the owl.
Well, can I also ask, is everyone here boosted? Yes, then are you all comfortable with
Yes, I am.
taking masks off?
Everybody but me.
Boosted?
I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not just because I have a broken front tooth.
Okay.
You don't want us to take our
We'll leave
masks
them on
off?
that.
You can take them off, I'm not going to. Oh, okay, yeah. It's up to you, but thank you. Appreciate it, I could breathe.
Read better when my glasses won't fog.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus I can lick my fingers to turn the page.
Not a whole lot here.
So they have the required.
No, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this.
Becky, if no one is zooming in. Should we close the Zoom meeting? You want to just leave it?
Yeah, because it was posted this way, it has to remain open.
Okay, no problem. And just to remind everyone that it's all being recorded.
Where's the camera?
Right now, it's because the owl's not working, you're not all being, yeah, 'cause-
Just what we said.
right.
Who's rear
What's on the
Rear ends. Rear ends.
Oh my God, the landfills in New York,
Who are you looking at? That USA?
Casella.
Casella?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, it's not saying that, but it's,
They're using the transfer station in Holyoke.
yeah, it's a transfer station. The entire town is supported on this giant landfill. It's like Casella has to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we have 2 trucks. And yesterday, sorry.
Let's finish it
Read
first,
through it
yeah.
first, please.
Just-
They chopped out yesterday before they finished.
Does anybody see, on USA, it says see attached for option number 2 description?
It will probably be in the price proposal.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, how about that? Well, here we are. And technical vision.
No, I don't know that, but the owl's not doing the volume. Can you see if that's recording?
What's that? It doesn't say so. Doesn't usually say so up top yet.
Yeah. Thank you, and I'm sorry for all this.
I love when they say over 200 years of combined experience. That means they have 100 people that work for years. Good. What is that proposal? Yeah, that is interesting that we don't have any of the detailed information about their company that we asked for. The USA.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, there's the front part. I'm looking for answers to the questions.
That's not a detail, that's,
The technical proposal is a couple pages long. USA. And also,
Is that the same as
same as.
it's all?
So the US. Proposal. That's what you're saying? Yeah, less than $100,000. They're not doing this. Irving and Gill, Irving and Gill, I'm like, set up. Yeah.
Where does it say, where does USA tell us what they're gonna do? If this is what we're doing, we're the current holder.
To figure out what they.
it did not,
See attached for option number 2 description.
well, that's gonna be in the price report.
The description of your plan.
Are we missing any? We don't have much detail with USA's, that's for sure.
Well,
But I think we have the basic bid forms and, you know, the various insurance forms and the licensing forms.
We have the technical forms, we don't have the information of what they propose.
We know they got 2 trucks.
And it's there.
And a spare.
And they're automated trucks.
Yeah, they were out of it,
Yeah.
So that means there's gonna be containers.
Yep.
But they don't say whether they're gonna.
Well, they don't. They don't know.
Casella says they will provide.
It is a concern that Casella only has one truck identified to use, but, I mean,
Well,
they have to figure out how to service the town completely, so if they finally need a second truck, they'll have to come up with a second truck. That's, I mean, if they, and we can talk to them about that, so everyone needs to know
Oh,
that,
look at this, manual collection on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's how they're gonna.
That's how they're.
oh, they're gonna be 2 days in town.
2 days.
Oh, interesting, never mind.
USA.
and see
USA.
what, it says-
No,
that's,
no,
Casella.
Casella.
Oh,
it says, in what manner have you inspected the town? Well, they are familiar with the area,
Which one are you talking about?
Casella. P1. I wouldn't say that's a detailed explanation of their.
not very familiar, so they must have ridden the roads. I mean,
Well, one hopes that, but
Yeah.
it would be nice to say that.
Right.
I know it wasn't Vince because he hadn't been here before.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're doing it 2 days would satisfy that, and that would make it only one truck.
Oh, man, people are gonna put out. That's on
That's
the
fine.
wrong day for sure.
Well, we'll just have to work it
It'll
out.
take some.
Education.
Yeah.
We'll have a,
education.
So,
And
that-
we just
that-
publish it, you know, the following roads are going to, you say the following roads are going, I say.
Right, and they made a remark somewhere, I can't find it now, about coordinating with the town administrator on
But
routes,
yes, that's how they're doing
adjusting the routes.
well, that's what you do before you accept the bid. You negotiate
Right, but
with them.
that
and
would
go
also
over
be
that.
dividing the town into Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
it. Yeah. Becky, do you know this town administrator at Guild, Rick Burrington?
oh, yeah,
Here,
he's awesome. I can talk to him.
that, you know, we might do that, just. I did talk to Jen. She said they have a great deal to sell them. They really love them.
At Guild,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
they've been there for a
Henry-
couple of years.
And that's the closest one to us in this list.
And Ray's been there forever.
And it's a similarly hilly town and rural town.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know how
understand,
many dirt roads they have.
I don't understand how Casella is proposing to do the recycling.
The seller or
Casella.
Every other week pickup.
it's the same way we do it now.
Yeah, they'll just deliver to the
Oh, so what's?
They have a split truck.
It's a
Two stream.
rear loading.
It's dual stream like we have
Dual
now.
stream, okay.
Yeah.
Stream, yeah.
They're gonna supply us with 95-gallon carts.
Are you sure you're looking at USA or Casella?
Casella.
Oh,
Whenever
I
you
saw-
find
On
that.
page 44.
Right, that's
Same here.
for the school
Oh,
and town hall and maybe highway
And the
department.
highway department, yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
They said they're gonna provide them because they wanted to know how many we own.
the seller will supply each residential location with a 96-gallon cart for recycling. The seller will provide the
Each
town with containers
residential?
as needed per RFP.
Each residential location?
I think that's a mistake,
Yeah,
because when they say what trucks they have, or what trucks they have.
Aren't they auto loaded trucks though?
so we need to confirm that.
Yeah.
But we will,
They said manually, they said collection is manual.
manual side-loaded Mack chassis with a split body.
Yeah, but
So
I
that
thought,
means they pick up recycling and solid waste with one vehicle over 2 days.
just like what we have now.
Right,
So was it USA that said they would be using an automatic truck?
Yes.
it does say that, that's
That's-
a foreign page, and they shouldn't have included it.
And we knew that.
Well,
was
no,
coming.
we know we are using the containers, but not for residential.
So,
But that says
But
residential.
they'll use the, yeah, that's the mistake, is the word residential.
But then it
Says they
says,
will supply, but then,
Right. They'll supply them for the town and the school, the town public buildings.
So who was it that said if you had extra bags, they would put the bags in a container and then a container?
That was USA
was
Waste.
USA.
I think this is just boilerplate.
Yeah, I think that's a problem, but we can clarify that.
but it's gotta get specified when it comes to a contract.
oh,
You can't
so
go-
they're saying they will supply only for their recycling.
Where are you looking?
Under that scope of services, where it says. They're only talking about recycling, not trash.
Well, they know that.
We hope.
Talk to them.
What page is that?
So
What are you
everyone knows,
looking at? I'm
the way
sorry.
this process works.
Unnumbered.
I think, so
Are you
y'all.
looking at
It's
USA?
just
It's,
page. It's just
four
page,
pages.
isn't it?
Oh, USA.
That's a
No,
page with,
Casella.
it's
Yeah.
a fellow with the
Four
pictures of the
pages and
dumpsters.
it looks like this.
Where do you say they're not picking up recycling?
No, I said they're picking up recycling, but they said they're gonna do it out of.
Oh, carts and containers, got it.
And that Casella will supply each residential location with an outlet.
Yeah, but if that residential is just changed to public, town public
Well, that's gotta get clarified.
Right,
That would be a little large for manual side entry.
yeah, how about hauling that up on the road?
Yeah.
No, no.
So that's under.
That whole first sentence should go, and they should have stuck with Casella will provide the town with containers as needed for RFP. specs.
So everybody knows here what the process is, though. When we review this, and let's say we make a recommendation to the select board, we will identify things that need to be negotiated or changed or have questions about. So this
Right.
isn't an absolute done deal, it's a starting point.
Understand?
So the CEP and Ag one, that's shutting down at the,
Yeah,
so we don't have any other answer to what happens after it shuts down.
So we do,
We
we
do.
added an addendum
Which
to
you will
the
see in
proposal,
price.
and what the addendum is for the disposal services.
Right, but is that in the,
That's in the price proposal.
That's in the
You'll
price.
see a price
And
on that.
Casella has a disposal.
But
facility.
that would start with the
In
beginning of the
USA.
contract, which is July 1. So we'll
Well,
start
that's what we
with-
can negotiate.
you
see
know,
if they
there's
can
been
start
some
moving
chatter
it.
here. I'm not actually writing any of this down because I
It's
don't.
okay.
I
You
would
have
say-
the
no, no, no.
recording.
I think the only thing,
I would
Tim, I think
suggest
the
that-
only thing you need to write down is that we need to clarify
The residential.
the carts and containers section on page 4.
And if our understanding is a 2-day, 1 truck collection.
We, yeah,
We need
they're
to get
saying we need to clarify how they're going to collect with 1 truck for 2 days. Yeah.
So Gil's not that different in terms of numbers of pickups. from us. How many did we decide we had to get picked up? How many?
Or around, it was around 800, I think, wasn't it?
They say 130.
Oh, right. Oh,
No.
and Gil was twice that, so. okay.
Actually, we have the best, one of the best lists in town because we have households in the back, you know, the bag distribution list.
So that seems rough, manual collection. And driver.
Yeah.
No, I was a garbage man at one time. Back in the days when you had a driver and 2 people on the back that would pick stuff up and throw it in. But I can't imagine starting and stopping in a truck,
Right.
picking stuff up. That's just, I
That's
don't know, it's fair to the workers.
That's a hard job. Yeah.
Isn't that what happened?
That's
at
a
one of
fair
the-
question.
And if there's just one person,
drivers?
if there are 2 people, they can alternate.
He was not a driver.
Oh, he was, okay, so it wasn't the driver.
No, he's not the driver.
It wasn't a single person out there doing both duties.
No. But
You
that's
so used to
something
do
we might
that.
bring
You
up.
so just
Although-
do it all the time.
And the female driver does that. And does that all frequently. She has no one else.
Yeah, she does it by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what.
What does it say they're doing 2 days?
Mm,
It's on page 44.
T2.
44?
We might question their having only 1 person,
My question, they're not having staples.
not having what? Oh, yeah.
I know, mine's already completely out of order, because the pages aren't numbered, and they fell on my floor.
44.
So I can't find page
Here it is.
1.
You got it.
Yeah. Manual collection, choosing.
Oh, here it is.
One's for fire truck.
Weekly manual collections, Tuesday, Wednesday.
See, this is what I had proposed the town
One
do.
driver operated.
We buy a truck, we hire 1 person, and they take 2, maybe 2.5 days to pick up.
Actually, it says 1 driver operating the truck.
Right,
It doesn't exclude
Yeah, that's another thing to be clarified, is there going to be a person?
The
putting-
second person
Second
doing the
person putting the
collection.
stuff in the truck.
But you never have two people drive a truck.
Right, but I'm saying that just
So what
because
does
they,
that even mean?
It may mean.
It
that-
says operating, one driver operating the truck. That means they're doing everything.
Probably.
That they.
And that's what we
collect
have now. Don't
Half,
we?
yeah,
what?
That's what USA is doing now,
yeah.
I think so,
Only
yeah.
One
one person
driver.
on the truck all day?
Right.
and he
Ann
gets out,
does it by herself.
But the other
And it's
truck,
not a man, it's a woman.
the other truck there are two, right?
Yes.
Yeah, two people on the other truck.
So when Ann hits that stop on Knox Pond Road where the people put out 12 bags, she's never happy.
Who puts out 12?
There's, but they don't do it all the time.
they save them up.
Yeah,
I'll write them a letter.
yeah. I
Recycling
remember when she
coordinator.
first said it, I thought she meant every week, and I was like going after it, but then she
Yeah.
said, well, she just never knows when.
Do we know if they
Are
have,
there any more comments on the Casella that you want to make?
yeah, I'd like to know if they have a backup truck.
I-
Doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't say.
No, it doesn't say that.
Okay, so.
Casella?
Yeah.
Casella said they have a backup.
And somewhere,
Well, but they.
No, no, that was USA.
That was
wasn't it?
USA, two trucks in the back.
You're right, that's USA.
Spare.
So it's a good question. I mean, we know that they're a large company and that they most likely have many, but we should clarify that. and make sure. They have the insurance stuff and all the sign offs. that they need in the back.
So there should be on our list of questions for clarification. when we present to.
What'd you say, Lou?
That should be a specified concern when we present.
For what?
Whether they have a backup.
And the price?
Well, let's talk about USA first. Does anyone have any comments or questions about that?
I don't think that an automated system will work.
I agree.
That's my comment.
Why
I
is
knew
that?
they were, I knew they were gonna come on with, an automated proposal.
why is that, you know?
Well, they're bigger trucks, for one thing. There are roads already, which is the trucks have a hard time getting down. And in the winter, people on some roads have to bring their stuff up to the. And I was joking with Merrill, I'd like to see somebody call a 96.
Well,
Gallon.
that's not what they would provide us. That was the 96 was for
Was the-
town hall and
Right.
other big places.
Okay, so
And they
it's a
talked
65.
about-
yeah.
Well, no, they talked
Yeah.
about it
32.
smaller.
I think it was 32.
Yeah, it was quite a bit smaller, but still,
But still,
it's gonna be heavy, and there are plenty of people who have physical
Are they on
constraints.
wheels? Are
that'll
they on
make it-
wheels?
They're on wheels.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's still,
let's say that you live on the pretty far down London Road. Well, what people do now is toss their recycling and a couple of bags or a bag of trash into the car and drive it up. You can't do that with this.
Mhm.
I know someone in Amherst who has that, and she told me what she does is she holds it out her car door and she drives it up.
oh, man.
Oh, you could just
Well,
put
she
a-
doesn't have to go along.
But also remember
you
this.
just put a rope on it.
I'm just saying, it's not ideal, but it can be done if it needs to
I
be
think
done.
they
I don't
also
think we should
said. if the
throw
bags-
anything out at this point, but you know what, we also have, the items that we need in here for insurance and.
I
Yeah,
want
that's all.
to add on to what Gary's saying. But if I'm correct, they said that you could put bags out next to an empty container. They would get out of the truck, put the bags in the container. So it sounds like, if you have a long driveway or whatever, one option is to move an empty container or leave the container there. Bring the bags out like you normally do.
Yeah.
And I think we at least need to keep it open, because if we open these prices and I don't think it's gonna be the case, but let's say Casella's 3 times the cost. I don't
No,
want to
that's
just,
what we're doing. What we're doing
Right.
now is discussing it and gonna rank them.
I don't.
So we
well,
can
we're
rank
not-
them
We're
and
not
then look at the
excluding
pricing.
anybody right now,
Right.
but my sense is that automated collection would be difficult.
And this is
in our
what we've
town.
said all along.
Yeah.
This is nothing new.
But you brought up a good point, Gary. I think I saw in here the truck that Casella's gonna use is larger. It was a 35-yard.
32.
That's
I
same
think it's
size.
35.
It's the same size.
same
The others
size.
were 33. No, you're right. But it says in the beginning, a 34-yard max chassis.
That's same as
Well,
Casella.
it may be physically bigger
This is
because of-
32 yards split
Yeah.
Oh, you are
body, so
looking at
that's
Casella.
what.
Well,
How can they have two different descriptions?
the automation equipment may make it much bigger,
Check.
just physically bigger.
34 yard,
Max chassis.
I mean, if you have the same capacity that one truck has automation on it, it's gonna be a bigger truck. you know, okay.
Or,
Is
but
it
the
the same
automation's on
so
the
what,
inside.
no, what there's, what,
Telling you
how
to
I
have more
read it
space
is
on the
that
inside.
But
it's,
it still has
the
that much
equipment is
space
described,
on the inside for trash.
what I see is it's described as, is the chassis is 34 yard. That's typically a chassis that goes with a 34 yard. But the body itself is not that. It's a 32 yard split body. So
And what is the other one?
I think it's
The
32.
USA is 33-yard
Or
automated
33.
truck.
Yeah.
So it's 33.
So they're virtually the same.
Is automatic of necessity single screen?
It's an automatic.
It's automatic
Automated.
dump. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
but-
what it means.
Does it mean that that is going single screen? Not double?
No, they
No,
just
they
collect
said you're
up
doing
every other
double
week.
screen. Yeah. This dual screen right here, info letter.
But the point is, they're both, I mean, how is this small, I mean, how is this? They're, neither of them are gonna get down some of our problem areas. They're gonna have trouble.
How
Well-
big is the truck they have now?
Yeah, but they are doing it now, I guess.
Yeah.
I think regardless of which one we go with, those trucks aren't gonna be able to get down some of the roads in Idaho.
Right.
This
So
is what we
that-
have.
Becky- I
And that's the
Becky-
same as we have now.
That's just the way it is.
It's,
Didn't
well,
Becky just
we
say that
don't
the
know
trucks
that
are the
for a
same as we
fact.
have now?
I think so.
And they're
we
getting out of
don't,
range.
because they said they
No,
use,
not easily.
they put
But it's
the
being accomplished.
Chains
metal
on 'em,
chains
yeah.
on their wheels and they go to all the roads in Gill all year round, and they're very hilly. So I don't think we should assume anything. We should ask them about it, because if they're
Yeah, I
going to
think they
go
should be
down all
fine.
the roads
Then
all year round, then I don't like that.
Well,
And my question then, as it was then.
You
is the
want to
same
ask
now,
both
is-
companies? about
Well, we
the
need
roads
to,
confirm?
we don't know yet. We need to look at the price proposals first and see if
So
we're
it's
even
a
interested.
Well, I mean, Casella did tell us that the chains on when we had it.
Yes.
They're the ones that said they put the chains
So
on, yeah.
it's USA, you want to double check that?
My concern is about damage to the road,
About what?
damage to the road.
Our plow trucks have to use chains too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not an issue.
No, I mean, it's an issue, but it's required for safety. And then they have to repair it, but it's already happened.
So Casella said that they would want to meet with us and go over the roads and what they can provide. They actually
Yeah.
stated that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they recognize that there's more work to be done to clarify this stuff. And that, and if we work with them to have them go forward and negotiate for a bid, they'll have to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
That's their
Because they've already
responsibility.
provided a bid in another envelope, is that correct?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
So
the
how
price.
can they provide a price if they have not gone over the road yet?
Well, they're stuck with whatever's in that envelope.
I mean,
They
one
claim
party
they have.
says they have.
They claim they have. We don't need to doubt that, They're
Okay.
responsible business people, we hope.
But
They
they
have
told
a
us that
huge-
they would contact the town and go over it with somebody in town. Is that's what you just said, I think. And that has.
No, we said we would meet with them to talk about it,
Not negotiable.
not necessarily, in the price is something we can look at, but we don't have to negotiate that. We can go with what they have. We're not gonna negotiate upwards. If they put a price in, that's the high point.
But now I know Casella put in something about the fuel charge, surcharge.
Right, I would like to know.
I didn't see anything for USA.
We have that in the RFQ.
So there
Okay,
isn't an RFP, but this is different, and I want them to explain what they mean by that, so I'm glad you brought it up.
3.25.
It
That's
goes
that's
over
proposal
$3.50
exceptions
a gallon
too.
now.
What page?
It's not numbered, it's under proposal exceptions, it's towards the beginning, like the
Yes.
third or fourth. No, this is Casella, under proposal exceptions, like the third or fourth page.
And they're coming from Westfield. Is that correct? That's where the
That's where the
trucks.
trucks are.
So
USA is coming from.
that
Hatfield.
might be boilerplate, because there is fuel charges addressed in the contract already, so that's. So I'll just,
Something else to check.
yeah, is question 2 different than our proposed fuel charge?
In proposal exceptions.
Oh my God, you can't throw your snowmobiles in the trash.
Really?
Oh, bummer.
A lot fewer snowmobiles.
Did they have aerosol fan system? I don't see it.
Oh,
Does anyone have any more questions? Because once we're done, what I'd like to do is rank these 1 and 2. And we understand that we will have to get clarification on some items, but we can still rank them at this point based on what we know.
Are we familiar with, I mean, they live, Casella lists a number of references. Do we know anything about, have we talked to any of these references ahead of
So
time?
Gary.
I know about
Oh,
2 of them. I know they serve one, Urban and Guild.
Okay,
And they've got Gil listed here, and I talked to Jana Mean, who is the coordinator of the Franklin County Solid Waste District. And she said that Gil is very happy with Casella. The prices, they're in their second or third year, I can't remember which, but they're in the 90s, like 93,000.
Do you know if they have a surcharge? Fuel surcharge arrangement?
I think everyone does.
But
All the contracts have a fuel.
yeah,
a fuel
you've got to put in
surcharge.
some kind of thing for fuel,
I
up
mean,
and down.
because right now, we're out of the 350 area.
Yeah, we'll start with an adjustment.
Well, what I want to know is that we have a surcharge and fuel adjustment process already built into our
And,
RFP.
yeah,
I want to know if the one they're saying is different than what we have.
how it is, yeah.
Than what we've already proposed, because we actually give an example in there. So this might just be boilerplate from another
But they-
proposal that
Right.
they've done that they left in there.
But they said it was an exception. It's in that list of exceptions.
Right, but I'm saying it might just be boilerplate that they keep in there as, I don't know, that's what I want. And because they also have Director of Public Works under one, and we don't have a Director of Public Works, so that's boilerplate too.
Yeah. I should have put that.
I just got to, I just was trying to email from those.
So
Sorry.
does anyone have any other questions or comments on these before we
Yeah, I
vote
forgot
on
I mentioned that
ranking
Melissa
them?
always does this, but
Do these stay
My
with
first
us?
time
We
trying
take
to
them
do it.
home or they go back in
Oh,
envelopes or
You
what?
can take yours home, yep. So did you hear that? Does anyone have any other questions or comments before we rank them
Nope.
on these 2?
I'm assuming these are both 5-year contracts.
Yeah.
That was in the RFP?
Yep. Was that, okay, so, all those who want Casella as number 1 choice, raise your hand. I'm abstaining. Okay, and Steve, are you voting? Okay, so it's 4 and then 4 yes. 1, can I ask why you're abstaining?
It was 5.
Because
But you're not a member of the committee either.
I am,
You are?
sure.
Then why didn't you count him?
I've been a member of the committee since it
No, no, I
began.
thought it was a coordinator.
He and
You weren't-
Merrill
probably
are
didn't
the
count my-
committee.
I probably didn't count
Yeah, I
myself.
just said 4. I raised my hand.
Okay, no, I always thought as a coordinator you weren't. a
Oh,
member.
no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Been there
so
so long.
I'm-
Wait, let me hear what Mom has to say.
Yeah, no, I'm simply abstaining because I'm so new to this and clueless about it, and because these two seem to me to be quite different. And I can understand perhaps based on the conversation, why you all would be voting for Casella first. And then there are all these other outstanding questions. So I'm curious to see what the next step will be. So that's why.
Okay,
It's
thank
more out
you.
of, this is all unfamiliar territory for me.
Okay, so, those who want to have USA waste first.
One abstention.
No, one. Well, you already abstained.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Different question.
5 no's, 1 abstention.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that said, we clearly ranked Casella as our number 1 choice. So if I have no objections, I'd like to open the price proposals.
And I think there's only 3 of those.
I asked for 9.
I'm just telling you when he reviewed it with me, he said there was 3. I have no idea.
School, I can share.
Is that USA?
Yeah.
Does this? They only have 3.
Okay, well, if you guys can share, you can share, and we can share. You only have 3 there too?
I only have 3.
I wonder if there was a typo.
I don't know.
It's very strange for them to do this.
All right, so everyone,
Oh, I don't have my life.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, this is, oh,
3 hard copies.
this is the good one. Oh dear God. Time to buy a truck.
All right. So right off the bat, we can see Casella is considerably lower.
This is for disposal.
That's Casella.
What about transportation?
Oh, well, they make Casella look good. Like we knew what they would because of the,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they have to charge for the.
Yeah.
For one thing.
Yeah.
This is,
All right, and also the amendment 3, the pricing is $90 per ton disposal
For who?
for Casella. Oh, what
For
does
Casella?
USA say?
I'm not there yet.
I think
97.
that,
Yeah. All right, so our number 1 choice for technical, the price was also considerably lower. So that's very encouraging. It's still high
Considerably lower than.
what's our?
than USA Waste.
What's our current contract?
65.
Oh, really?
Well, that's
55?
no,
It says
that's
65.
for all,
So here, keep this.
80
on.
2 or 3, 83 for disposal.
It might have gone, no, it's 67 this is, but it's in the 60s.
I think it's
Keep
67.
page on the side.
Yeah, I think last year was
Yeah.
This represented. the
But we
trash
knew it was
disposal.
gonna go way up. I wish we did have a stapler.
There must be a stapler in this room.
You think, I can understand this.
Don't know how many.
Nita.
That's it.
Well,
So,
They have a,
Under the
Now I already-
65.
USA has a disposal cost per ton.
So Sellers is.
I'm sorry.
Have you got this? Well, I haven't seen that yet.
Things that trash costs is pretty- so much less.
And we're playing what now, Becky? Like, just don't
Does
want
anyone else
80
want
or
a
90.
stapler?
80. Yeah. I think that 80, 82, 80, it's gonna accelerate.
So from our previous discussions, the Casella number's not really a surprise. Is it?
No.
Well, it's worse than I had hoped,
Yeah, I'm not surprised at the 125, 952.
but it's the
I think-
accelerator every year.
Yeah.
You know, to jump that much every year is,
Well, what is the percentage? Does anyone have?
I don't-
Let me see.
I think
I don't have my phone.
Don't they have the price
Yeah.
per year?
They have the price per year for 5 years.
Okay.
And it goes way up fast. I mean, it's, you know, it goes up 9, 90, 10,000, 9,000.
10%.
Yeah, about 10% per year. That's fine.
That is fine.
how many percent? Over
Yeah,
10?
only in the
Close to
10.
ten.
About, yes.
Yeah,
9
that's
point something.
ridiculous.
That's really high.
Yeah, but even the other bid isn't as bad.
I mean, I'm not surprised at the 125, but I would think like a 3%, you know, per year would be
Increase in the cost of living.
reasonable. That's what we were paying for the disposal.
Well, if you were an accountant and somebody was asking you this, you take the present value of the total numbers. One's 876,000, the other's 717,000. So really it's $160,000. So cost wise, the difference is the net present value of those fund flows. So in that sense, looking at the rate of increase may be less of an issue compared to the net cost of this thing. And
Oh, yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
definitely the net cost is the main
It's
issue.
like the 6.5% increase
Is
per
it
year.
6.5?
That's what,
This is Casella you're talking about.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's also a 7.5% inflation rate right now, so they're trying to project out
Yeah.
That's
5
what it
years.
is. You're
But
right.
it was like 1% last year.
It's not likely to go back down to 1%, I don't think. Anytime soon.
I'm just
Not
saying,
without
I'm
another
just saying it's
recession.
highly variable.
Bad.
These are smaller percentages. But,
Yeah, I mean, USA is roughly 4+%.
yeah. they're small
You agree the other
percentages,
one's
but it starts
about
much
6.5?
higher.
And that's, you had for a long
Starts
time.
Checking
like
your math.
almost $40,000.
Tim's looking at it. He's the math guy, we need his skills.
I didn't even get to the.
What about the fuel surcharges? They-
Nine-
they-
I just did rounded up numbers, it was like 8%, but I can do the exact. numbers.
By the way, I should tell you that Willie Miller and Gianna Mean and the Tracy DeMeyer had one met yesterday with USA to talk to them about a cooperative municipality deal on disposal.
What?
And the figure they gave,
Yeah, it was 6.5.
the figure they got was
Okay, good.
97.
That's what?
And the-
97
And the other one was over
$97
$4.
$97 a ton, roughly. And no deal for more towns coming in.
Hmm.
No deal.
So these are already better, and that's another thing we'd want to ask is if they would start those pricing immediately for trash disposal. So start the trash
If the
disposal.
seller would pick
Casella
up
will
trash.
start
Do we know,
immediately.
do we know exactly when CET or CEP
About mid-
ends?
We don't know exactly because it has to do with when it is actually sold.
Yeah.
But it's probably mid-April.
It
Tomorrow,
says
they said.
essentially it's the
Well,
April 14th,
tomorrow.
but
April 14th, but it's not,
it could go to a different bidder.
yeah, well, there's only one.
Well, they said that when I talked to the lawyer, they said someone else was interested.
Oh, for the Pittsfield.
No, for,
Oh, Casella's buying the Pittsfield.
okay.
Casella's buying the Pittsfield.
It was a
facility.
company called F&G that
Oh,
had,
F&G is just USA.
They
It's
know
just, it's the same company.
No, I think you answered it with the 4%.
No, you said it's something you wanted to ask them, and I didn't get a chance to write it down. Just about 2 or 3
Well,
minutes.
when we get to the point of talking with them to see if we can negotiate them down to 4% rate per year instead of 6.5% per year, whatever, or down from wherever they are.
But I think Steve's right. I think they're looking ahead and saying, rampant inflation.
Oh, Tim, you know what I said? What I
Sure,
said
that's
was,
their price.
what we want to do is see if we provide a contract to whomever that they honor that disposal rate immediately for disposing of our. We have USA Waste picking up through June 30th. That's the USA.
Okay, they can take it to Casella.
But how does
It's
that
a
impact the
disposal, it's not
contract?
picking up.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
that's
far, what's the
It's the
distance?
processing service.
Difference is $7.
No, it's the same location.
Okay,
That
that's
hasn't
my,
changed.
my question was the location.
Yeah, the
and
location's the
travel
same.
time, the
It's the
travel
same.
time.
Well,
It's the same as where they're going now.
no,
It's just
but
changing ownership.
Casella has its own.
Well, they might take it to Hoyok, but I'm talking about now, if, let's say Casella, we want to award it to them for July 1st. So if we ask Casella to give us their disposal, the tipping fee price, the same from now on, the location of where they, no, USA Waste still has the contract to June 30th, so they're not going anyplace different, but we're just asking.
But USA Waste is buying.
No, I know.
And so, and that price goes to $97 a ton on April 15th. So
Right, that's
we-
what I'm saying, but
we
they
want to-
honored the lower price.
Well, no, would
No.
Casella start taking, will USA Waste take it to Casella? Is what is.
That's what I said,
Yeah.
and I,
That's what you said. I think they would.
To a different place than not the CEP place,
Yeah.
to their own Casella.
I mean, they've been taking it to CEP, but they didn't know, so.
Right.
What's the difference?
So the question is, would USA take to Casella? So
if,
I
yeah,
think they-
For process.
I think they would.
I'm not assuming anything, they may
Yeah.
want to charge us more for it, is my guess.
I don't think they can negotiate the contract. But as a.
Well, we gotta look at the wording in the old contract, it probably says that during
I'm
the
sure it
duration
does.
of this contract, the place of where we process our trash changes, then they have to go to the new place.
But there isn't a new place until July 1st.
Right,
Is the
unless we
current contract
negotiate
on
something
negotiated
that,
with
That's
the
what's
FGO?
needs to be negotiated.
Even if it's being sold.
do you understand? what
Yeah,
we're
you
talking
want
about?
that.
I'm following.
I
Which
wish
I'm thinking if I were
They
USA,
can't provide
I
the
would be
services.
saying to the town of Shutesbury, this is where we plan to take your trash after April 15th. I mean, if they're picking it up, they gotta take it somewhere. They should have a plan, right?
Well, they're gonna want to charge us, probably.
But they haven't said anything yet, and they know it's closed.
Well, and
they have.
actually, why should they? They own the other place. Why should anything change?
We need to add another thing.
They're gonna own
What they're gonna wanna do
CEP.
is.
Why would we have an existing contract with them?
Yeah,
Why
so
wouldn't that still be
those-
valid?
No, it isn't valid. Those contracts are all out.
Oh, it's, that's right. It's not in their contract. It's a separate
Right.
contract with CEP.
So would USA then just keep taking it to the place they are buying?
Until
our
But not
contract-
necessarily
No,
at the
we
price
would-
that we're doing it now.
We
That's
would
the
have,
problem.
here's the deal, we're gonna have to negotiate a new contract for disposal
Yeah, so
by April
For
15th.
processing.
By April 15th,
Yeah.
either with the seller.
Yeah.
Or USA.
Does that price become effective April 15th?
Yeah, what, pardon me?
You said, will the price become effective April 15th?
Yes.
It would.
That's
Well,
when the
because it's a new
disposal fees-
contract.
It's a new contract, so
Yeah.
the current contract we have for disposal ends on April 15th.
That's correct.
So do we have to use the same RFP process to do that by April 15th?
No.
No, because they would streamline it. If, in other words, if we did want to take it to F&G, which is USA, which used to be CEP, then,
Who's on first?
then we'll do a real quick contract, real fast contract.
But what if we want to?
And it could be short term. It could be from now until,
USA.
July
disposal.
Okay.
in which case, everybody
97 or
negotiates that.
The
short-term
97
contract is
was
gonna be paying
USA.
$97.
They're 97.
And what's our current-
So
Casella
our
is
hauling
80.
through USA Waste is not changing through June 30th. It's just where they're taking it to.
Well, I
And we
understand,
want to
but
get,
right.
well, and we want to get the best deal for the town for how that happens.
But
And
my
we're not
question
exactly
was-
sure how that's going to happen.
As of April 15th, can we also negotiate with the seller for a price? Have it taken
We
to
can
the
do
seller?
whatever we want. The bidding process for haulers and disposal are exempt from 30B. So we can just negotiate.
Right.
But
And if Casella is willing to start on April 15th to take it to its location.
So one of the
It's
things
essentially
we
We
need,
don't
all-
want to do that because
No.
we have an existing hauling contract and we're not going
We have to pay
to
that.
drop that. That's going to
Oh, no,
stay in
no,
place.
We
no,
won't
but the
drop that.
existing hauling contract is with CEP. When it becomes a new company,
No, it's
No,
with
no, the
USA
hauling-
Waste.
It's the processing, it's
hauling
not the
is-
hauling.
No, it's just, instead of taking it to CEP, the former CEP, they now, our USA trucks now take it to Casella and Holyoke.
But we, again, I say, we have to look at the existing contract to see what it says. We put in this RFP, I know, that if the location of where we dump
you're
the
talking about
trash,
the
Contract
CEP
changes.
contract?
no, the RFP that we just proposed, I know that one gives us the option of changing the location of where our trash goes. What I want to know is if in the last one, we also had that provision.
does it say location? or
I
does it
thought
say
we did
company?
too.
Well, you
So
know,
if we're covered that way,
covered that.
then yes, we can ask Casella to let us use their dump facility, their trash place, yeah. And we'll continue with USA Waste, we just have to have USA take it to the new location.
But-
And especially if it's closer, that's
but-
even better for them.
it's better for them, but it's really not a lot of money. I mean, we could do a short term with F&G, it's about $22. Because it's May, June. Really, and half of April. So it's,
Well, we want to do it as inexpensively as we can, that's all.
Okay, and on that note, sorry, I want to go back to the proposal that was quickly dropped, that I put out a while back. To really seriously look at a truck and hiring our own hauler and getting insured to do a 2-day-a-week collection. Because right now, at the numbers I looked at before, we can, the trucks were running about $200,000. That would be the main expense. This contract we're looking at is almost $400,000 more than our prior contract. This is a huge blow to the budget, $400,000 over the next 5 years. And I know that's only, what is that? 80,000 a year, but that's, our new growth per year is 130. So that's gonna suck up,
Yeah,
like
but you-
60% of our new growth.
But you haven't filtered in yet what the cost of the labor is for running that truck, insurance.
I did
etc.
ballpark, if you get a driver at 60 grand a year, add them to the highway department with a CDL license being managed by our highway superintendent, and potentially the other 2.5 days a week, he might be, drive regular trucks or,
One of the other discussions that we had was that those CDL drivers are kind of very transient, and hard to get a hold of, and hard to keep.
And if they need to be trained to go on our road network in a certain way, so it's reliable for people. We talked about this extensively at our meeting and looked at some numbers and just felt there were so many barriers to trying to do it ourselves, it didn't make sense.
and there's
At first,
another-
it sounded good, but then when we really started looking into it, and how long to get a truck, and, the maintenance on the truck, and having the driver familiar with the truck, and then if the driver's out, then there were a
Then,
lot of barriers
yeah,
that
you
didn't
have
make
to-
sense to
the
us, and we
backup for-
voted as a committee to
yeah,
not
you
go
did,
forward with
but I
that.
think it was premature, and I think the cost is, that you're asking the town to take on really warrants more serious consideration.
I think a major concern might be, can you get a truck that quickly?
You can't.
You can't get a brand new truck that quick.
Well,
Well, if you have
there's
5
no
years,
way
at
that we could
5
get
years
this
at
up
a
and
minimum
running
of
like
60,000, that's 300,000.
there's no way we could get a municipal collection process going before July 1st. Getting the truck, hiring people, doing the insurance, training people, we can never get it going by July 1st.
Becky, if you, 5 years at, let's say, 60,000 for wages, and it's gonna go up to, that's 300,000. Got initial investment of the truck for 200,000. I don't know if those trucks go beyond 5 years, but that's already 500,000. And you gotta add in the local
Wait a
administrative.
minute, where's 500,000?
200,000 plus 5 years of $60,000 in wages, which is 300,000.
Okay.
So you've got 500,000 in it. Cost of insurance, cost of maintenance, cost of town administration of that person. I'm wondering when you get down to it, how much difference is that cost really?
Okay,
And it's just a-
this is really hard to stomach.
It really
knew
is,
it
but
was
I'm not
gonna be-
sure that
We
that's.
know, we knew it
Right.
was
This
gonna
isn't
be,
surprising.
but here's
But
the
then you're
deal.
putting in full-time wages when we're talking at half-time. And if it was worked out with the highway department where we already have CDL drivers, so we have a backup if somebody called in. I'm just, that's,
But where are you gonna get a part-time CDL driver? Because my impression is those guys. can
okay,
work
but if
anywhere
we
they want.
wouldn't, because
Especially at the
we
rates
could
the town
offer them a
pays.
full-time position and have the other hours go to the, add
But-
the highway.
So it's
department.
still
that's-
adding a
that's
Still
full-time
adding
position.
to the
Yeah,
cost
but
of the town.
the highway department going to adding another thing has been part of the master, this is a concept in the MVP and other places that it's necessary to keep the roads going because of climate change. So it's not a new idea.
Well, it's necessary to collect the trash, and to dispose it too. I mean, there is an option. People aren't gonna like it, but the option is for the entire town to go to subscription. Every household, contracts its own.
riot.
And, I was talking to a friend in Amherst, and I just asked him, I said, what do you pay per year for collection and recycling, trash collection and recycling? $500, $592.
But that's also in a,
And
Much
if you,
larger
and if you
city.
add what we would pay here, the two things, collection and.
It would be more because we're more rural, so houses are spread out, so they can't have as many economies of collection, so they charge more.
They
And
charge
It's a more challenging
I-
environment.
I see two issues here. One is relating to hiring somebody. So I want to ask Becky, is there already something in the works about hiring an additional person for the highway department, regardless of any of these discussions?
We've had a person that's come on to half-time, and at this moment, he's just gone back to plowing, but there have been, over the last 2 years, we've had more highway support than we had before.
But and Gary's point though is to just logistically, you can't do this by July 1st. It's not going to happen.
We had discussions, detailed
Yeah, it's
discussions about it.
unfortunate I had a conflict because I have a very different vision than anyone.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, I'm willing to really listen to Becky, give it as much of a push right now as she can. Because it's,
I think it's a good idea.
if she
I
didn't
don't
have
have
the
the
operating.
luxury, I don't think we have the luxury of doing that right now because we need a contract for July
Well,
1st.
Okay, but wait, I just want to make sure that we ethically are responsible trying to look at all options, okay? So if, for example, we said, we only want to do a contract for 1 year. And let's say Casella took it. Or USA did it for 1 year, whatever. And that gave us sufficient time to explore this other option. If that were the case, I'd be interested in hearing. In other words, number one, if we somehow figured out how to get enough time to make it happen. The second thing I'd like to hear is the argument from Becky, which the part that isn't grabbing me yet is the split use of the driver, the backup driver. here that there's already in the budget an additional 60,000 or close to 60,000 or part-time at that rate in the highway department. So if it's not, and we propose to do our own system, no matter where they're working, we're proposing to add a $60,000 a year minimum cost on that.
Yeah.
So I need clarification
Yeah,
to
that-
really
not
hear
figure
what
out.
you're saying.
Well, ignore my idea. I'll talk to Tim, Hunting. Because probably the highway guys wouldn't want anything to do with it. You know?
I'm not sure that's true, and Tim's retiring anyway. So whoever the next person is would be the one who have to be convinced.
I didn't know that.
No.
When is that happening?
Next fall. He's coming fall?
You are
Yeah,
not
it's
allowed to
coming
say you're
fall.
retiring for 5 years. At least. So,
No, but I think, okay, I think people are, if we went with Casella, for example, people in town would be very hot about the increase. There's no doubt about it. It's already tax revolt, you know. But if the, you know, I mean, perhaps we could split the difference a little and say that we'd like to do a 2-year contract. That would give us time to really explore possibility of doing our own.
and
So
Or
would
prices
5 year,
could go up even more, and then we
Right.
really
Yeah.
get
so
screwed.
would a 5-year process. I mean, you can do a 5-year and really dig in to see if it makes sense, because by that time, yeah, with all the, and, you know,
See, I think that it makes sense to do a contract. We just don't have time now.
Yeah.
To get it together to do our own hauling.
Do we have a right to cancel the contract?
I think it
I
has to
seem
be
remember that
mutually
from the last
agreed
It has
time.
to
upon,
be with good
Yeah.
reason, yeah.
but both parties have to agree.
Yeah, and, I mean, I do think that we should push them on their escalation each year when we negotiate the prices. I think
Right.
that 126, the starting year, I think is okay, you know, it's not great, but it's
Even
not
if
as
we
bad
went
as I thought it was gonna
5% every year, it would be a heck of a lot more manageable.
But that's.
be. Well, it's
even-
not, it's 6.5, so,
Yeah, it's really high. I would think,
no,
I mean,
USA is around.
USC is
4%.
around 4,
Yeah.
so we could shoot, we'd say a 4% increase per year.
Sorry, I thought Gary said it was 10.
No,
no.
Tim and I both ran the numbers, and it came
Okay.
out 6.5, which I was
Great.
impressed that I could do that.
Nikki, you kind of agree with my just quick listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, see,
The
it's what-
500,000 plus, there's a lot more hidden costs that are gonna be.
Well, I get the hidden costs. I think I've never, because I think it would have to be part-time allocation of one of the person's jobs, you know, and then we have a part-time guy, and when you have, like right now, we have a part-timer who helps with plowing, which is great, because there's no overtime for us. It's terrible for him, but it's good for the town. But those kind of things help. So if we had another full-time person, we wouldn't need the part-time. So you're already got that chunk of money that's going towards it. And then you've got, yeah, so I never saw it as a full-time position because of the relationship that's embedded in the highway department. But again, one person doing this job, as you said, is crazy.
And there's another issue too, and that's, you know, truck maintenance. How many times over the years have at least one of these trucks broken down? And if that happens to a truck that Shutesbury owns,
We don't have a
we
spare.
don't have a backup.
Then you gotta lease a truck.
We don't have a
And
backup.
good luck with that.
It's an expensive undertaking.
One of the advantages of dealing with a, you know, large business is that they have some backup if something happens.
Personnel benefit.
And that's like if you spend 5 years working it through, working with another town, so you can have the backups you need. I think I
But we
think,
don't have any other towns around here that are doing their own hauling. trash pickup. We couldn't find any. We looked when we were talking about this. The closest ones were on the Cape.
Leverett was talking about transitioning about 3 years ago, and they didn't transition because of the cost.
Did we think about asking Leverett if we could use their transfer station? That would be a pain in the ass, I guess.
Well, that's a huge change for them. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lot. The volume of trash would be enormous.
And
Yeah.
the trucks coming and going.
Trucks.
I don't think
Yeah.
they would ever agree to that, but I think we're very fortunate with the deal we have now. I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that, because it's such a great service to the town to be able to provide both ways. All the time.
And if we had our own transfer station, that could go bad.
Well, I was just gonna say, you want it next door to your house, I mean, that would be fun, trying to find out where that would go. Although I know some people who
Holmes
want it on
property.
lot 32.
That's right, yeah, right next to the
Yeah.
library.
Well, that's Bob.
That is a
Bob-
library.
All right, so there's a meeting with the select board tonight, and you should put me on the agenda, you said, or you put us on?
It's, what time did I take it in? I think it's 6:30. Sorry.
Are these documents going to be attached to the minutes?
I don't, we have electronic versions of these documents, but this-
Yes, that's in that.
There's
well,
supposed-
Stella has a,
I didn't give it, I didn't see this.
it was in
Is it
there.
in here?
It's probably in the folder. He just put it back in the envelope.
He closed the
But he-
envelope when he was with you?
Yep. He showed it to me and then just to show me everything was there.
oh,
Let me open. It's not a browner.
Okay,
Follow the rules. Okay, there's,
Thumb drive,
6:55.
right, okay.
So we have that for Casella, do we have anything for USA?
but the price proposal's not on here. It's just the technical proposal. Well, then he might both be on there.
She didn't say anything. It was-
So is the answer we
There
cannot?
it is.
Of the cellar.
You have a report on your.
Does anyone have a,
Right now, that's a little tricky. I have like everything maxed out through.
Okay.
does anyone have a permanent pen that I can just write? Sell it.
oh, I just have a black.
Let me see this.
I can go upstairs and get one if you want.
Blue, Casella. Black, USA. It's gonna be clear when you look at it. Just stick 'em in. All right, so I can, yes, to answer your question, Tim.
I have another question. We didn't talk about fuel charge, surcharge. But you know those two.
Well, that's some of the questions we have.
All right, is that in our proposal? Do we have a?
Our RFP has a pretty elaborate,
Yeah, we have
Okay.
a
Work
whole
out of
fuel
it.
charge formula,
Okay,
yeah,
and it tells you when it kicks in and what the price changes.
Okay.
And how it
When you
works.
said yes, but which question are we responding to? Yes, they will be attached, or
I-
yes, they will not
Is there
be
any
attached.
reason not to attach the price and the proposals? No, so I'll send
Once
them
it's
to you.
open, it's public record.
Yeah,
It's all public record.
But I'm still confused. I thought you were saying that one of them was only a technical.
You don't know
we
that.
opened the price proposals. I don't know, I don't know if they're both on here or just
So I'm gonna
one.
leave that blank. I'll just put documents attached. So when you
That's fine.
pay it, then you can-
That's fine,
You
and,
can
and
add
if not, I could scan in the price proposals at home anyway,
Okay.
so that's no biggie.
So Mara, what is your plan for tonight?
Well, that's what I was starting to get to.
Okay,
Okay, so I will say that the committee voted to rank the proposals.
we haven't voted on the price yet.
On the technical proposals. with Casella, 5 yes, 1 abstain, and USA, 5, no, 1 abstain. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then we open price proposals. And that was, we could just read the prices to them, but say that Casella was clearly lower.
Or we could send them to them.
That's a good.
If you want to do that.
Then we have a chance to look at it and digest it.
They won't have a chance to really look at it. What's in there.
Oh, just the price proposal.
Well, we
Well,
can send
would
them
they
both
actually
and they can do what they
Becky,
want.
they wouldn't actually make a decision tonight, would they?
No,
I don't
well, they
know.
can,
That's why I was asking. Harold
what I was
to
going
ask
to
him do.
propose they make for a decision is that we pursue negotiations with Casella to clarify some outstanding
Exactly.
questions on their proposal.
And to negotiate a lower.
Well, should we take a vote on the price? On the price and,
I mean, that's straightforward because
it's lower.
it's a lot lower, so that's,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to vote, I don't
Okay,
really
no,
think it's
don't- I
necessary.
think we just tell them it's considerably lower.
It's
Do you
over
want to
100.
take a vote on, just for the record, on the proposed idea of doing it ourselves?
Of doing what?
No, I think that's
I
off the
don't.
table for
Yeah.
now. Thank you, Kim.
So would it be a joint select board and recycling committee negotiations or just select board negotiations with, Casella? How would that work? Or just with you, or how would that work?
Any combination you want.
Okay, so we'll ask, recommend negotiations with Casella and ask them who they want that to be.
Well, I would recommend that at minimum, you and Gary be included or the committee because you've been working with them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy to jump in and work at it too.
I think the select board's overburdened already. I think we just need the permission and then
Yeah.
have non-select board people follow it through. But so my question is, do you want to be burdened with that as well? You want to work with the recycle committee?
This is what I need to do.
Either form
Yeah.
of sign it, authorization.
So does that
Yeah.
mean that
I don't
All
know how
future
useful
meetings
I'm
with
gonna
them
be
would be-
because next Monday I'm
plus
going in.
somebody
for the
from the
operation.
recycle?
Well,
I could let it
Maybe
Zoom, but
Gary, Gail, you have the next most experience on the committee. Would you be willing to do it if Gary can't? So we'll see what the timing.
And
is
see,
to
if
do
it's a
that.
Zoom kind of thing, I can probably do that.
I
When
mean,
you go
they,
in-
they'll,
recovery.
so I'll just say, this is high priority though, to get this done soon because
You
there's
have
a
to get in
lot,
the budget.
we have to get it in the budget and they need to get equipment. So there's a lot of things that
And
have
we
to
have to
happen
do something by April 15th.
in April
for
15th.
disposal. Yeah.
Just 2 weeks from now,
Oh.
basically.
Can you, join me at that meeting tonight? the select board
Is it a
meeting?
Zoom meeting?
Becky just said
It starts
6:55.
at,
6:55.
6:55.
I'm gonna be on it
Is
early though,
everybody's
because I have some other issues. I
What?
wanna hear about.
Is that because everybody's late, really gonna start at 7?
Oh, no, we start at 5:45.
Oh, I see.
No, we start at 5:45. We've got
So
some other
does,
things to do first.
Now,
does Rita really move it along so at 6:55? they're really on
okay,
it?
so,
We'll see.
Okay,
She's
We
pretty
have some
good. She is pretty
challenges
good at
tonight.
it.
Yes.
yeah.
so, I wanna make sure though, that I have all the key items we have to ask for the seller in our negotiations. So let me just
I
go,
would not list those to the select board tonight,
you said don't?
because then Casella could know everything they're telling. They can anyway. From the minutes.
Yeah.
Well, this is not gonna be posted.
I can
Right,
read,
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't, okay, so,
I
but I
would
can
just
say the
there
kind
are-
of things.
Yeah, there are some issues we have questions on.
Clarification of something.
Yeah.
Need clarification.
Have you ever gotten pricing reduced in the past?
No.
I didn't think
When was
so.
the last time you had competing bids?
5 years ago, we've had them every time.
Oh, okay.
Well, they weren't really competing
No,
last
they
time.
weren't.
Last year was
I
fairly.
Yeah,
mean, we
'cause it
had
was-
one that was half what the
Yeah,
other
we
one
had
was.
this bid and then we had the one for six in the 60s.
It was twice as much.
It was twice, it started
Literally.
at 120.
Truly a no-brainer.
And it was actually what the market rate sort of was, so we got incredibly lucky, and I think we need to remind them
We
of
got
that.
5
Right.
extra years.
Wasn't that the one that
Probably
was,
drove
they
them
said
out of
one
business.
truck, and it turned out they couldn't do it with one truck?
It was
because they had-
alternative recycling.
No, they knew
Yeah.
they needed more than one truck.
Well, see, they took over the contract from alternative recycling and they had to honor it.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Marilyn,
so,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Well, Now, I can just read to you what you were gonna ask them about, check it off. Because you said you wanted to double check. Need to know if there's a backup truck.
Well, we were saying we didn't want to get into these details though at the meeting.
Okay,
I do need
thought
to
you wanted
have
it for
that.
your notes.
If you, yeah, I do have that. If you want to just shoot me an email with that, that would be the best way to do it. if you don't mind.
And are we going to, before we leave, make the plans for a meeting as far as the CBP goes? Or is that something that you can do on your own?
What's that? I'm sorry.
No, about what to do about CEP. That's sort of a separate issue, but it's not, that's the thing. These are all,
Well, yeah,
Time
we
sensitive.
we have, I think
I have it listed here.
easiest-
Yeah.
the easiest thing to do is to do a short-term agreement with USA for 2.5 months. It's about
Why don't I make a motion for that?
20, it's about $28 difference.
I propose we make a
You
short
mean with
term.
the regional one? That those
No,
other
I
people are negotiating?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They're not giving anybody a price deal for having more municipalities come in. It's $97 a ton, period. And so, but that, if we do a short term with them, which they're willing to do, they've said, we do a short term with them, it's, like $7 more than we would be paying with Casella if we
Do
negotiated with
do we
them.
have the money in our current budget to
I
do that?
think we do. I'll double check, but I think we're okay.
From your perspective, does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. As long as the contract will allow for it.
So I'd like to.
You know,
make a-
What we have right now, the CEP is about 83, 85.
No, it was like closer to 82, I think.
Okay,
It
82.
was at 80 this third year. I think it tops out at.
I've got it at home, but I don't have it in my head, but it's, so it's,
Started at 78, 80.
I'd like to make a motion that we do that, but as part of the motion, I'd like to add who would actually meet with USA. Would it be just Becky or Becky and Mel or Gary? Or
Sounds like Gary's not gonna be.
I'm not gonna be meeting, unless we can do a Zoom thing, but
That'd be
yeah,
better.
you two guys.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that we do a short-term arrangement with USA for disposal and that Becky pursue that.
Yeah, I think we have to get on that.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstain?
I'm in favor.
Right.
So actually, it's a 97, 15, 30, $45. Not quite.
Per ton.
Can you before
38,000.
tonight, just look at what
Which,
what our
From
tonnage is
mid-April
that
until-
we've been
oh,
taking?
okay. It's been
$17.
14.
Well, can you look at the numbers and send me
Yeah.
what you think it's gonna be from now till June 30th? What that total number's gonna be? That would be great, if you can get it.
Trash tonnage per week,
Multiply by 97 per ton.
multiply by.
Or we can get a little lower.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
But you can look at the monthly, too. So it's 2.5 months essentially.
if we were going with their contract, you could negotiate down, but.
Right.
I don't think.
No,
There's a
every
clear
price of
and
this
I
was
don't know.
higher.
And Arlene said that he was absolutely adamant. No negotiating that $97
Your position is
figure.
So I have a question. We do have questions for Casella. So if they will not budge on anything, I'm assuming we're saying still go with them.
I think we're over a barrel. I don't really think we have
We don't have-
a choice.
We don't
The
have.
basis
We
of my
need trash
question
collection in town.
was to know if we communicate to USA that we are not going to accept it, or do we wait?
Not yet, no, because we have to.
Not
wait
until
till-
the contract's ready, not until we sign the contract.
Okay, thanks.
And all we're doing with USA is negotiating a short-term contract to go from mid-April until.
Yeah, I was
June
kind
30th.
of jumping back.
To cover disposal.
On the, yeah,
No, you're talking about the hall.
yeah,
piece
yeah,
of it.
I kind of backtracked.
Well, I think they would be unwilling to budge.
All right. So just to clarify, at tonight's select board meeting, I think I have what I need to do for that. Before that meeting, you're gonna get me an estimate of what the dollar amount for the tipping fees. And Tim, you're gonna get me that list of items that we said in the contract. I'm not gonna bring them up, but I wanna have them handy.
Okay,
Can you do it by then?
sure.
Okay,
Do
great.
it when I get home.
Yeah. And then we'll just also ask for a schedule and let them know we need to do it. Yes. Well, if the select board doesn't want to be part of it and puts it back on me and Becky, then Becky, you're just gonna have to tell me how available you are, because I'm pretty available.
Okay.
And I know you have a full plate. So we're gonna have to figure out how to do that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. And I'm gonna load these, I will send these out to the committee and the select board.
And those end up back with the rest of everything after you vote, right?
You mean, I'll just, yeah,
Yeah.
you
okay.
mean just drop it town hall sometimes, so.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
you
just-
want all of these?
Yeah,
Well,
I don't need all of them. I
No.
just need what.
We
the
have
ones people
extras
don't
here.
Need,
we have extras and I'm gonna be
I need-
emailing out,
yeah, I need a
link, so-
copy and you're gonna send me.
I'm gonna give you
I'm gonna
these
keep the pricing
originals.
sheet, okay,
I'd like to have a copy of the Casella price.
I'll make you a copy there, then if there's not
Well, there
enough.
might be other.
Here, Becky, why don't you keep the original one,
Okay,
the fancy colored?
I'll keep that, but I'm gonna make a copy that I can write on.
Yeah.
At the
Well,
beginning of
I'm
the
not
meeting,
feeling any
here's the
compelling need
USA.
to take mine
Well, I'll
home.
hold on.
Oh,
And
great.
if you're gonna send them out.
Yeah,
Okay, that's the Casella price?
I don't need these
No.
Oh, here,
Yeah.
no, no.
You don't
I've
want the
got
technical proposals?
either.
I've got the technical.
Well, then-
Casella, but I would like to have the price.
Is one of these the price?
Yeah,
Just the price?
that's the technical, that's the.
I have,
Here you go, Gary, here's
Okay.
one of the.
I have
prices.
technical right here. if
That's
you
for
wanna
you,
get
I've got that. I need the Casella one.
Okay, I'm just gonna go upstairs and make you.
Okay, thank you.
I wanna hold on to that.
at the
Wait,
beginning of it,